You can't spell Rob G without BG.
Bell Gardens in the building, dude. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
Yeah, how you doing? I'm good, man. I'm good. Got my dude Rob G here, posted up at the park with me. We're gonna talk a little bit about Bell Gardens, man. A city that's near and dear to my heart. I know it's a city that's near and dear to your heart. I see it right there on your hat.
Right there. It's on my leg and it's on my arm.
Oh, no shit. Let me see. There it is.
Right there.
Oh, you see the leg? Oh yeah, that's hard, dog.
Right there.
Damn, man. Yeah, my journey in Bell Gardens started in late 80s. So I got there about 88, I think it was 88. Yeah, it was 88. Yeah, man, crazy. There was like one white family left on the block. I was the only dude who had any black in them, and it was all Latinos, man. And that was where I first fell in love with Latina chicks, because I never saw as many Latinas that I did until I moved to Bell Gardens, and then just the culture and the love everybody showed me. And it's a trip, man. I never got any like racist vibes. Nobody ever, you know, gave me any shit, you know, for being different. We all talk shit like kids did, you know. We all have fun and talk shit. Hey, fuck you, big nose, fuck you, blackie, you know, shit like that. But you know, other than that, it was never any animosity. So Bell Gardens has a very big part of my heart, man. But talk to me about your journey in Bell Gardens, man. When did it start?
Well, since I was born in '89. So the 90s and the 2000s, I was there.
Tell people some of the hood you remember seeing on the walls as you were a kid.
I remember I would see like Bell Garden Locals, Playboy, Notorious. Those are pretty much like the older neighborhoods that I would see.
Junior Mafia was
Junior
one I remember.
Mafia, the King Cobras.
King Cobras.
Fostoria Boys.
Fostoria. Kansas Street.
No.
I'm tripping. That was Maywood, I think.
Yeah, that's Maywood.
Yeah.
But those were the ones I would see as a little kid. And as a teenager, you know, I started seeing more of like the brats, you know, they kind of came over. Yeah, I remember in school, you know, all the little kids, you know, they would say they were from Bratz or they were from Playboy, you know, because they had older brothers and sisters or whatever. But yeah, man, that's pretty much what I grew up in. And I think what kept me out of like neighborhoods and stuff was music. As a little kid, I always had music, you know, because I have two older siblings. So, you know, they would listen to all type of music, and one of the music that I really got into was hip-hop, rap. I remember in the late 90s, early 2000s, that's when I really got into, you know, like listening to music. And the one person that I fell in love with was Eazy-E.
Me too. That was the person that made me fall in love with hip-hop in 1988, dog.
Oh,
so probably, what, 12 years before you fell in love with them?
So Eazy-E, like, and then my brother was telling me like, oh, you know, Eazy was from Compton. I'm like, oh man, that's not even that far away from here, you know. So then from there, you know, I wanted to rap. I wanted to be a rapper, but I'm Mexican, you know. They will always be like, oh, you know, you're Mexican, you can't really rap, you know, you're not black, you know. But Eazy-E was my inspiration. Like, I wanted to grow up and be like Eazy. What Eazy did to Compton, that's what I wanted to do to Bell Gardens. Was, you know, so that's why my song, I'm like, you know, you can't spell Rob G without BG. Like, I always try to like mention Bell Gardens in any type of way that I can.
90s and 2000s, man. Give me the good, the bad, and the ugly about growing up in Bell Gardens during your time.
Man, the good, fucking, you know, growing up in Bell Gardens. The bad, you know, you will always see, I remember I was always hear a lot of shooting. I remember there was time when I'll be playing outside with my friends or whatever, and we had to run inside because we just heard people shooting up, you know, down the block or whatever. Me growing up, I grew up in some apartments, so there was always shooting around there. And yeah, so, you know, and it's kind of sucks, you know, because I was only 6, 7 years old, and like I already knew when we would see, you know, some of the cholos passing by, we already knew, you know, there was going to be something going down. We would just run to the house, you know. And but you know what, I wouldn't change none of that for anything, you know. That's my city, and you know, but yeah, that's just how it was back then. You know, that's how it was in the 90s, in the early 2000s. It was a war zone. It was active.
Yeah, man.
I remember once I was going to a liquor store with my dad, and I saw this fool just passing right next to us with a shotgun. He was about he was about to go shoot some foods on the next block. I think it was Playboys, and I forgot who else. And yeah, it was just active back
Yeah,
then.
man. Did you live all over Bell Gardens, or did you grow up in a specific spot?
I grew up on Gotham and Jaboneria. That's pretty much where I grew up at first. Then as a teenager, I went to Comar. I was in Comar. I was in Ira. So I was all over Bell Gardens.
Did you go to BGI or Suva?
I went to BGI.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's always the question, right? That's always the first
BGI
one. Same here, dog.
BGI.
To this day, F Suva. No,
Right?
just playing. Got love for Suva, just playing.
Yeah, man. I went to elementary, BGE, BGI, and then the high school. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And we still call it the high school. Like, we don't even call it Bell Gardens High School. It's like, hey, you going to the high school?
Yeah.
It's like the high school.
The high school.
It's not even like Bell Gardens High, BGH.
No.
When did you start realizing that you wanted to write and actually create this?
I was young. It was in 2001. I remember I was already like 12 years old. I remember I was like, I want to do this, like, and I remember I started doing little rhymes, and my brother would be like, oh, this shit sucks, like, and I'm like, no, watch, I'm gonna, and that's when I started. It was fucking horrible. Like, I don't remember some of my stuff, but it was, but that's when I decided, like, this is what me growing up, I wanted to be a wrestler. And when I was like 12, 13, that's when I'm like, I want to be a rapper. So it went from trying to be a wrestler all as a little kid to want to be a rapper, and that's what I wanted to do. And I was really shy in middle school, so I wouldn't tell anybody that I wanted to rap or anything, And then I actually stutter a lot, and so I never really liked talking because I stuttered a lot. And I remember when I would tell people, like, oh yeah, I'm a rap, and they're like, how? You fucking stutter, you can't rap. And it just made me want to fucking do it even more. And yeah, when I was in high school, that's when I kind of got more serious about writing and everything. And then right after high school, my first job, I actually raised money so I could buy like a USB microphone, and that's how me and one of my homies started recording. And yeah, that's where it started.
All right, so you have 3 kids, right?
Yes.
What are their names?
Athena, Zarek, and Elena.
Nice. How old are they?
10, 5, and 3.
I'm sure they're your heart.
Yeah, they are.
Probably changed your life like my son changed mine.
Yes.
Saved my life, I should say. I know my son saved my life. Take me back to a week before you were diagnosed with leukemia. What was going on in your life? Like, probably, was it life is normal,
Yeah, it was pretty much right after the holidays. So it was January of 2020. A week before, I was already kind of feeling tired. I was feeling tired. I would tell my wife, like, hey, I can't even fold the laundry. Like, my heart would start beating really fast. And she's like, oh, you should go check it out. I'm like, nah, I'm fine. I just got to sleep it off. That was me. Just got to sleep it off. And yeah, and it was January 22nd, 20th. That day I went to go pick up my oldest daughter from school, and I took my 2 youngest kids. And we're only like 2 blocks down from the house. I felt like I was gonna faint, and I got to school. I called my wife. I'm like, you know what? I feel like shit. I think you gotta come and pick me up. And then I ended up going back home with the kids, and my oldest like, hey, something wrong with you. You're sweating a lot. And my wife took me to the ER. They did tests. My blood count was really, really low. They said that I really didn't have any blood in me. One more day and I would have died. And they didn't know what was wrong with me. Then on January 24th was I had to have a bone marrow biopsy, and that's the day I found out that I had leukemia. That's the day that my life changed pretty much. It was hard because my youngest, had just turned 1. So I remember it just flashed. I'm like, man, I can't leave them. But everything happens for a reason. One thing about me that I kept positive, and I know I was going through shit, but I couldn't let my wife or my kids see me like that.
Just give me a little bit of peace, steady job and some food to eat. Just give me a little bit of peace, steady job and some food to eat. Just give me a little bit of peace.